Okay. Sorry for the late start, everyone. I was having a lot of technical difficulty this morning. I hope that I'm coming through now. If anyone can let me know if they can see me or hear me, we can get going today. It's going to be a really, really casual stream today. I guess even more casual than I thought, as I was having a lot of technical difficulty getting started this morning. But we are started, and I believe that we have two cameras ready to go today. I was trying to get the third camera set up, but it's just not happening today. So we have these two cameras. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Well, what's happening? We got Gaz in the chat. We got Ed in the chat. We got John. All right. What's up, Renee? All right. Thanks for joining me, everyone. It's going to be a really, really casual stream today. I'm not teaching anything. This isn't going to be a master class. We're just going to jam around with some iPads and the Electron model samples and have a little bit of fun. Let me get a sip of coffee. Again, sorry for the late start. I'm a little frazzled. I had a little bit of technical difficulty getting started this morning. Let me go ahead and switch over to the overhead cam. What's happening, Michael? All right. Hey, guys. Cool deal, you guys. So what we've got here is I've got two iPad Airs. Both of these are connected to their own audio interface. I'm using the Novation Audio Hub 2x4 audio interfaces today. I've got two of those set up, so each iPad has its own interface. The iPads are connected today via Wi-Fi, via Ableton Link. Let's hope that keeps up because my Wi-Fi this morning has been a little bit off, and these have been sort of disconnecting and reconnecting over the last hour or so. So let's sort of hope that this, stays steady. I've also got the Novation model samples here, just another box for samples. So we've got these three devices to kind of jam around with and just have a little bit of fun and make some music today. I've got this groove started. Let me see if I can get you guys a decent audio level here. Turn my headphones down just a little bit. And if anyone can let me know how that level is, if it's loud enough, if it's too loud maybe. Hey, what's happening? We got Sky Tortoise Ferryman in the chat. All right. It's pretty loud on my headphones. I might need to adjust some levels before we get started. Let's add some other things from the other launch pad, shall we? All right. 2, 3, here we go. And I can start the drum machine in real time with this groove as well. In 1, 2, start the drum machine. Levels are good for me. Cool, Ed. Now I've got all three boxes making sound, and the levels are pretty loud on my end. Is that coming through okay? And can you guys still hear my voice okay? Yeah, that bass is loud. Okay, I'm going to bring the levels down just a little bit for you guys. Let me know if I need to adjust that as the session moves on. Oh, okay, so definitely a loud volume coming through. Let's do that. We'll bring that volume down a bit today, guys. Is that a little bit better, maybe? I still have quite a bit of control over the volume that I can bring down. Fine now. All right, fantastic. Thanks for your help with the levels, everyone. Hey, John. Thanks for tuning in, AJ. Hey, listening on studio monitors now. Levels better. All right. Thanks, AJ. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about this setup and how everything is working today a little bit, shall we? We've got the Launchpad app originally from Novation, and then they sort of branched off into their own company, which is now Amplify, but that was originally a division of Novation. And I really love these apps for having a good time. We're not really worried about taking music too seriously today. We're just having some jamming fun. I've got a groove that I put together from scratch using their sample packs over here on the left. And then I'm just sort of adding stuff to that in real time. Latency compensation to work with hardware and Launchpad. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there, Sean. I don't have any latency settings today. Let me show you guys what happens when we go to the settings menu. By clicking these three dots over here, we can get into the settings and we can turn on Ableton Link and have it start and stop in real time with the other apps that we're connected to. And we can also go into the settings and go to the MIDI sync output, and we can enable the MIDI timing clock, and we can enable the start or stop offset with milliseconds if we have like some timing issues. Let me show you this groove here, right? And if I take out these drum parts, so we just have the melodic elements, what I can do now is I can hit this MIDI start button, and in real time, it's going to send a clock message to start whatever I'm connected to on the next downbeat of the next measure. And I can turn that off in real time while we're synced here as well. So I can maybe bring in a few more melodic parts, and then also, you know, from this side, and then also get the drums started so we're all synced up here. We can turn off the drums and add drums from over here maybe. Hey, what's happening, Expectus? Thanks for tuning in. All right. So I think what we'll do today is start off by programming something from scratch and just having a little bit of fun with it. I think we're going to go ahead and start with this iPad here on the left. And what we're going to do is go ahead and, let's see here. Not news rather, but if we click on the little home icon, I believe I can. Now they've got this new sort of like subscription thing where you can get their like premium, but I don't really, you know, go in for that, and you don't need to go in for that. If you know, it's pretty expensive, and I believe it is a subscription-based, you know, service. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to, gosh, I don't remember exactly how to get a blank session going here. So give me a moment while we figure that out. I would have assumed it would have been like right here, but they really want me to get into their pro features now. I believe maybe it's in the library. Yeah, cool. So if I go to my personal library where all the packs that I've, you know, previously unlocked or whatnot show up, we got this little plus icon here, and we can start a brand new session. See what I mean about my Wi-Fi being screwy? We just got unlinked and then relinked there in real time. So hopefully for this session, that is going to keep up. One of the interesting things, though, is that I've got, you know, this iPad connected to the model samples over MIDI, so that's not a Wi-Fi connection. So that should be steady even if my Wi-Fi gets screwy. We're going to go ahead and go plus to create a new sound pack. And here we can choose like an empty bank, or we can choose, you know, from a template. Like let's start with one of their templates here. But I like to just start with a completely empty session. And we're just going to call this, I don't know, YouTube 01 or something for today. Whoops. 01. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Fine. Open. Cool deal. Now we'll go ahead and start ourselves a brand new session here. Now, I don't really have any preconceived ideas today as to what we're going to do. We're just making some music and having a good time, having some fun with the gear. So if somebody wants to suggest a tempo in the chat, then that's the tempo that I'll set the iPad to, and that's what we'll start working with today. So the first tempo, I see one come through in the chat, is what I'm going to go ahead and set this to. I set up with this circuit. Yeah, absolutely, Sean. This with the circuit is a fantastic pairing. In fact, I have some live jams that I did, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago with that exact configuration. We're going to go ahead. See here, my links is getting screwy again. It just said no links, even though I'm definitely still Wi-Fi. So we got a 96 BPM from Wall in the chat. Thanks, Wall. So I'm going to go ahead and set this iPad here to 96 BPM. And let's check the other one on this side. Yep, I'm still okay. We're 96 BPM, even though the link is kind of, being a little bit screwy today. Let's see here. If I tap my tempo here, cool. Now we've got the original beat that was in the model samples playing at 96 beats per minute as well. So let's go ahead and pick a sample. We're going to go ahead and go to the edit pad, section here by hitting edit pad in the upper, screen here. And I'm going to make sure I've got a pad selected. Here we can choose whatever we'd like to start working with first. Maybe we'll go ahead and pick a little bit of some drums to start with first. And you can, you can sort by the individual sound packs here, where we could, let's pick some samples from the Funk Revival pack, for instance. Or you can just forgo all that and search by categories. And I think that's what we're going to do today. And maybe just sort of arbitrarily pick, this drum window, and then maybe scroll way down and start seeing what's in here. It lists the original tempo that the samples were recorded at right here in the middle, so I can, maybe not choose something that's like 175 beats per minute or something, because we're going to stretch that way down to 96. Maybe I'll pick something by default that's a little bit lower in tempo, and we'll see what we can come up with here. Whoops, if I just press play here, we can start this pad going. Whoops, I don't mean to do it there. I mean to do it here. There we go. So now we're hearing just this sample. It's a kick drum sample. I kind of like that, actually. I went back into the folder so we could maybe scroll for that, but I kind of like that as a start. So let's go ahead and see if we can't add to that by clicking the next pad over, right? If I scroll back here to the categories, and in fact, let me go ahead and stop this so I don't have to talk over it the whole time. These drums are actually broken down into two categories: drums and percussion. And drums is typically going to be the really low frequency content, like kick drums and maybe some snare drums, whereas the percussion is sort of meant to accent those low frequency drums. And in the percussion section, you get more than just, actual percussion sounds. You get hi-hats and rides and top lines and whatnot, and they really tend to accent and complement these drum patterns with their low frequency content. So what let's do is, instead of scrolling through the drums folder, we're going to scroll through the percussions folder, see what we can do, see what we can come up with here, see if anything syncs up and sounds cool. We don't really have, whoa, that's a loud one. We don't really have any specific intention as we're getting started. We're just trying to, put some loops together and see what sounds cool. I almost like that already, but let's scroll a little bit more. Yeah, my links are kind of going in and out, so let's hope this holds here. And I might do the same thing that we did with the kick, loop. I might take a look at these BPMs of the individual samples and maybe load a sample that has a lower beat per minute to start with. That sounds pretty neat, almost like it was meant to go together. Hey, my link's back on. So let's go ahead and use that for now. Take a look at my level behind me. Let me know if I get too loud on the levels, you guys. And let me check in with the chat real fast. Okay. What I think we'll do is we have a filter on every single channel. So on the channel here that's playing this percussion, we could filter out some of the low frequency content on that. I can filter it almost all the way out, or we could low pass filter it. But I think what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of the low frequencies out of that sound, so it's not competing quite so much with our kick drums. Bring that volume up just a tiny bit more. And let's go ahead and see if we can't bring in another sound. Actually, before we do that, we're going to start with some melodic content at this time. So let me show you how that works. There's a little tuner icon in the upper right here. And if I click this, we can set the key we'd like to work with to any of the available keys. These are all minor, so we have like C minor, C sharp minor, you know, all of the available notes. If anybody wants to yell out in the chat like a root key, that's what I will choose today. I know I normally write with like F minor a lot of the time, so this might be a great opportunity since we're not really worried about actually writing stuff today, if we maybe choose a different key. So if somebody wants to mention a key in the chat, that's the key we will go with. Hey, what's happening, Russ? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, not seeing anything coming through. Come on, you guys. Somebody give me a key. Okay, well, I will add some percussion then, some further percussion while we think about the key, guys. Go ahead and give me an option if you guys can think of something. And let's add another percussion. Get that playing in sync here. Ooh, that's kind of nice, actually, right there. I think we're going to use that. And I think what we'll do is maybe put a little bit of a high-pass filter on that as well. Yeah, nice. So that our kick drums have all the low frequencies. All right, we got AJ. Nope. Above that, we got Acoustic Man with A minor. Thanks, guys. All right. So we're going to go ahead and set this to A minor. Cool. And now, let's go ahead and see if we can't find some sort of a melodic content to add into this groove. Maybe we'll go to the bass section. Maybe we'll just scroll way through these bass options, get down towards the bottom. And now, anything I choose, it's going to sync it to the key that we've chosen. And these are going to be all sorts of bass lines from different genres and different packs. So we really don't know exactly what to expect here. That's kind of a really low one. That's just sort of bringing up a nice little low end there. Hold the phone. I think this might be something we can work with. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that on your phone. If you've got your speakers on, you might be able to hear that. That's a pretty low sub there, but I think that sounds pretty nice, actually. Let's just go ahead and bring the tuning window open again and make sure that we're still stuck to A minor. Fantastic. Now what let's do is let's go ahead and start, getting us the ability to do some jamming, shall we? We're going to go ahead and open up a full pack in the second Launchpad. And we're going to do that by going to my library of existing packs. Maybe I'll just, scroll down a bunch here. And what we can do is we can sort of pick a pack that might be in the same sort of tempo area as this pack. Or we could, pick a pack that would be very much different so that it's going to do a lot more stretching. Let's see here. We've got a pack that's just showing up here called Universal Reggae. It's at 90 BPM in the key of G minor. So over on this side, we're working at 96 BPM in the key of F minor. That's only 6 BPM difference and only one note difference. So let's go ahead and load that pack up and see if we can maybe do a little bit of jamming with these sounds. All right, fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and touch the tuner here so that I can get the key window open on this side. And we're just going to go ahead and make sure we've got this set to A as well. And now it's going to get every one of these loops all ready to match with the sound we've got on this side. And if I get that started by doing a swipe on the pads, right, now we can start maybe adding something in from this side. Let's see what happens. Cool. All right. And there we go. We're sort of off and running. Is that volume too loud as we get off and running, or are we sounding okay? You got new PreSonus monitors. All right. That is fantastic. Nice bottom end. Yes. Love to hear that. Right. just kind of having fun and messing around.
Every second and every minute of every hour, you want me medicine, you're making everything much better. A selfless partnership like to a baby from his mother. You're just so sweet, you're like a pretty little flower call. Yes, all of the people that love reggae music all over the world. This show a celebration, y'all. Wow, go ahead. Looking for the rainbow reggae music full of color.
It's a full-on vocal set on this one. I'm not sure those really fit the vibe, but they're certainly fun. Now I've turned off the drums inside of the Launchpad apps, and we're just using the existing pattern in the model samples to kind of sync to this. Kind of got a low W808 style beat in the model samples. And if I turn off all the pads here, now we're just hearing the model samples. So we have just a beat from the model samples here. Let's take a listen to some of these bass lines. So how we've got everything in sync today is the iPads are just in sync wirelessly using Ableton Wi-Fi link. And we've got a MIDI out from this iPad that's syncing to the model samples here. Kind of a fun little bass riff there. All right, let's add to that, shall we? And then let's add some stuff in from the other side in 1, 2, 3, here we go. Now what happens if I change patterns on the model samples? I have no idea what's next. Kind of a hip-hop-y beat, actually. All right. That's kind of fun. Cool. Kind of a funky little rhythm here. Let's see what we could add to this, maybe on this side, like a melodic something or other. There's my Ableton link going out again. If we pick the melodic category and just randomly kind of scroll way down through some of these samples, let's see what we've got. Something here says a fake flute. Let's hear that. Get this in sync with our mix. 3, and... Nope, don't care for that. So let's keep scrolling. Oh, I like that. Kind of accents that reggae flavor. I like that, yeah. In fact, what we can do is maybe do a little bit of a high pass filter on that. Take some of the low frequency content out. All right. So we'll take this one out. There we go. Hey, what's happening, Trovarsi? Just having a fun one today. Doing a little bit of jamming. We stop the beat on the model samples. And we stop the drums from this side. Maybe let's add some more from this side. And here we go.
Vibration neatly captured in a sound.
cool. So this is kind of how I like to mess around with these boxes when I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. It's been looks like I lost my talk camera. Let me go ahead and see if I can get that reset real fast here. And let's see if that did it. I'm having all sorts of technical difficulty today, so thanks for everyone's patience. Let's get the groove going again. Well, I start messing with this camera, shall we? Cool. It's a two-camera shoot today because I wasn't able to get the third camera going this morning, unfortunately. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I'm just trying to get a moment to get my other camera back, and it is just not happening. So we're going to just move forward with the one camera stream at this point and just have the overhead only. Let's hope that it hangs on. And let's go ahead and start another groove from scratch, shall we? If we go to the home icon and we go to the library, and then we click the plus button to start a new session, and we go empty. You can just call this maybe like YouTube 2 for today or something. YouTube 02. Cool. All right. And if somebody wants to yell out a BPM in the chat, that's the BPM that we will go ahead and use today to start this one off, rather. Last one was 96 BPM. So we could go faster. We could go slower. We could go the same. What do we got here? We got 131. Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Travarsi. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set the tempo on the first iPad here to 131. There's my links going on and off. That's great. Hey, back on again. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're synced here. We're not. That says 117. Let's go back up to 131. Yeah, cool. And we are synced. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and just grab ourselves something to start with, shall we? Maybe we'll go back into these drums and we'll just sort of scroll down a bit. Actually, what we'll do this time, let's do something different. Rather than randomly scrolling through the categories, let's go ahead and pick one of their sound banks since we're kind of at like a nice techno-y type of tempo. Maybe we can pick a techno-y type of pack here. To find some samples from Heritage Techno. There we go. Let's see what we've got here. Get this going here. Whoa, that's pretty loud. A lot of good sounding options here. But I think this first one might be the way to go. That sounds pretty nice. We might even be able to low pass filter that a little bit and get it a little bit darker. Oh yeah, forget about it. Let's get rid of a little bit of those high frequencies on that beat there. And maybe let's pick a different pattern here on the model samples. Let's see what we've got here. Scroll through some of these patterns and see if I can find something that maybe... Yeah, this is a 606 pattern here, which kind of blends in with the low frequency content from these drums here. That's cool, right on. Let's see what we can add to this. I'm going to go ahead and click the next pad over, right? And we're going to go to percussion this time. I think we will scroll down and maybe try to find another techno pack so that we're mixing it up a little bit rather than just recreating a groove that somebody else already made. Let's go into this techno driver pack, shall we? Scroll down a bit and see if we can't find some cool percussion maybe. Get this going in sync here. I don't really want a halftime. Let's try this one. This doesn't seem to want to play at all. It's more of an accent. Let's go back to these packs and see if we can't find a new one. How about UK techno? Ooh, there it is. Cool, that's the one. Give us a little bit more percussion element here. Yeah. Hey, what's happening, Jamie? Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's see here. We're not really set to a key, so if anybody wants to throw out a key suggestion, we'll maybe pick something up there. And while we're working on that, maybe we'll, let's see here, go over to some effects sounds and scroll down a bit here. All right, let's check some of these out. Get this in sync with our groove here. We got Acoustic Man with C#. Thank you. Ooh, that's cool. We're going to go with that little effect sound there. I'm going to bring it down in the volume, in the mix a little. Ooh, yeah, that's fun. Cool, right? So we've got C#, and let's go ahead and set that by touching the little tuner icon here. We can set this to C#. See if we can't find some sort of a melodic something to fit in here, shall we? We've got the model samples cranking away with these launchpad grooves. Got a really solid bottom end going. It's nice if we could find some groovy bass. In fact, maybe we'll go for packs this time and go way down to the bottom and see what we've got here. UK techno. Let's open that up and check out these bass lines, shall we? Get this in sync with our groove. Kind of an acid line there. Ooh, we're done. That's it. That's hot. All right. Cool. Now that we've got a little bit of a groove started on this side, let's have some fun and go ahead and load another pack on this side. What we can do is we can just go to the library here and maybe, oh, I don't know, scroll down to find something. How about this garage pack, Crystal Garage? Let's load that up, shall we? And what we'll do is we'll just make sure here we're in C#. So over on this side, I'm going to click the tuner and make sure that we're in C#, and we are. So fantastic. We should be ready to go here. Let's get the groove going. We'll start these drums, right? This is now just the 606 pattern that we're hearing out of the model samples. And I'm going to start the rest of these. I can just click them individually, you know, and start them on the downbeat. Or what we can do is get the beat started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, and swipe them all. 3 and 2. No, I'm a little bit off still. See if we can't fix that. 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, cool. We're in sync. Here we go. See, we probably don't want to add more bass at this time. So let's check out this one, maybe. Not really appropriate, but very cool. Huh. Let's go ahead and maybe bring in this one. 4, 3, 2, 3, and... That's dramatic, isn't it? Now we're making cinematic techno. Yeah, I don't think this pack on the right really has the vibe that we're going for in this sort of jam. So let's pick something else, shall we? In fact, how about heavy electro? That might be an odd combination. And that's sort of the fun today, is we're just sort of creating a little bit of a start on our own to get some sort of, you know, customization happening. So we're not just using their included packs and what we're building, and then just having some fun and seeing what we can, you know, meld together. In fact, let me get these going first. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4. Hit the MIDI and... Okay, so we've got these two in sync with each other, and we've got this new pack loaded. We'll get this set to C# minor so that it's going to be in the same key as what we're working with on this side. And let's see what happens. Definitely more of an electro vibe, yeah, trippy. Some extra percussion. Never have too much percussion, so that's cool. Let's see what else we got. Kind of like that. This is kind of dark. All right. What we can do is maybe bring the effects up on our first launch pad and mess around with some of these stutters. I don't know, let's see what happens. 2, 2, 3, and... I love that triplet one here. Sort of a tape stop effect here. So we've just lost all 4 of these loops, and now we're just hearing the model samples and this little synthesizer loop from this side. As long as I hold this pad down, it's going to keep this at a tape stop effect. So we could maybe bring up the filter here. And then let go here and hear it come back in. We can set the speed on those tape stops to anything we want, and we can make it affect whichever tracks we want or which ones we don't want. We can do a fast one. Just bring it in and out real quick, you know. 3, 2, 3, and stop it, and bring it back. Right? Let's do that again. And 3, 2, 3, 4, stop it, and bring it back. Really, really handy when you have your stuff divided up in different, you know, sections. Because if we had everything in one iPad and I press this, then, you know, all the music would stop. In 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let's see what we can bring in here. Maybe another lead, or ARP. Maybe we filtered that ARP, maybe make it a little more techno and a little less house. Cool. What's a real-time one that we can use? If we can find another sound to bring into this cacophony, shall we? I'm gonna go into the vocal packs. Yeah, cool. Kind of a 90s underground groove right there. I kind of like that. Ooh, that's cool. Let's get that in there. the model samples and see what happens. All right, we just happen to have sort of a techno pattern in there next. That's cool, right on. So we change up the pattern on the model samples here. It's got kind of a breakbeat pattern, change it up entirely. Cool. Now we've muted everything on the left and just messing around with what's on the right in the heavy electro pack. With this kind of hybrid breakbeat here. Let's change it. Yeah, the model samples is Electron. It is their entry-level piece of gear, and it is a really fantastic piece of gear. I like to say about the model samples specifically that even though it's an entry piece of gear, that when I'm using it, it feels a lot more like working with a tool and not playing with a toy, if that makes any sense. That's really important to me. Here we go. Bring up some bass here to go with those drums. And some sound effects. Let's add something on our own that we choose at this point. We'll pick an empty pad here. Maybe we'll go to, I don't know, let's go to melodic and just start scrolling down through these included packs that I've got here. Randomly, right? Let's just stop here. See what happens. Ooh, all right. I think we just found an Atmos. We could filter the lows out of that a little, right? Yeah, the price on the model samples is like $300 US. I think you get a lot for the money with the model samples because you get right in with the Electron workflow here. You can do the parameter locking and load your own samples here as well. Let's see what happens when we get our full beat going on this side. That sounds pretty cool. All right. Here we go. In 1, 2, start the model samples. Alright, let's change that pattern. 1, 2, and change the pattern. Kind of an 808 dub again. Let's change it one more time. Over here. Yeah. Ooh, kind of a neat halftime pattern there. I like that. Let's load up a fresh pack on this side and start messing around, syncing some of these loops and whatnot to this new beat that we've just messed with here. Let's pick, oh, I don't know. Let's pick their, what tempo are we rolling here? We're rolling at 131 beats per minute still, doing a halftime. Cool, let's grab these breaks and we'll load this pack up. Let's go ahead and go back into the key of, actually let's leave this. Their default is G minor on that pack. So why don't we turn our samples that we've got loaded on this side to the key of G minor just for fun. Let's see if we can get a sort of a bass line happening. And 3, here we go. Okay, now that is funky. Let's go with this one here. Just the volume on that just a little bit down. Am I too loud at home? It's pretty loud here. Turn that down just a little. All right, let's bring in these sound effects we have here. Kind of a neat little, yeah. And let's bring in this Atmos. Yeah, all right. Do you see how much do you see how much variety and difference we can get with Launchpad, even though it's basically just a simple loop app when we're using it in a configuration like this? When we have, you know, a sort of a groove that we can create over here on this side, and then stuff we can play with over here and on this side in real time, and then even just one external piece of gear, any kind of gear, any groove box or something that we can start via MIDI. Really, really like this sort of a fun workflow and just messing around. Let's get a bass. That's not a bass, that's percussion, but let's leave that because it sounds pretty neat. 4, 2, 3, and... Let's leave that. It's kind of a funky 80s, 90s groove, but with this weird trip-hop beat over it. That's kind of fun. Yes, it does help having two interfaces. Yeah, for sure. Let's get this Atmos back in the mix. And now that we've got like a groove built up here, if I stop the drums, we can hear just what we've got in the two iPads. Maybe bring in an extra loop for fun. Ooh, that flute is neat. There we go. Kind of a stab. That's cool. And let's get some drums going. Change the pattern. And again. Now we've got just the beat coming out of the model samples here. Let's try to build that back up into something. We'll take the rest of these samples out. Just try to build something up around that beat there. It's being a little bit strange, so we're going to go ahead and reset that. Try a different pattern. There we go. Ooh, that's kind of a neat one. All right, let's go with that. Whoa. I think it's time to go ahead and pick a new pack on this side just for fun. We're just having a blast today, just having some casual fun messing around. We're not necessarily trying to do anything super serious or write anything super amazing, but rather just having some fun today. Load up a different pack on this side. And maybe we'll get started this time with something on this side as well. I'm going to go ahead and see, we're still at 131 beats per minute. Looks like this project started out at 140, so we're going to go ahead and set it to 140. And we're in the key of F minor on this side, so we'll make sure we're on the key of F minor on this side as well. And let's go ahead and just play some of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the volume up here. That's kind of fun. Let's get this atmosphere in here. All right. And let's add the model sample beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 now. Now that's a very odd one now. We've got sort of a 4 on the floor dubby beat with these weird trap sounds. Kind of an unexpected groove there. Hey, what's happening, Connor? Hey, we got Suachu in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's go ahead and start a new pattern from absolute scratch, just for fun, shall we? We're going to go ahead and go to the library page, and we'll click the plus button, and we're going to go ahead and choose an empty pattern again. And we're going to call this YouTube 03 for today, I suppose. YouTube 03. Cool. Open. All right. And what let's do is let's change it up a little bit. We've done like 96 BPM. We did 131 BPM. Let's go ahead and bring this one up to say, oh, I don't know, 156 BPM. And are we in sync on this side? Yes, we are. Even though my Ableton Link Wi-Fi connection keeps kind of going in and out, we seem to be doing okay there. And let's see what happens if I go ahead and press play on the model samples here. There's a beat happening there at 156. See if maybe we can load up a different session in the model. These are just like my model sample sound banks that we're just kind of hanging out with today. Let's see here. If we go to load a different project, we can load up the bass music drums project. That might have some fun patterns for us to work with today. And let's go ahead and get that loaded. Cool. Definitely helps if you've already got some patterns pre-programmed in whatever box you're kind of trying to work with. Cool. You can hear it's kind of skipping that downbeat every now and again when I start the MIDI from the iPad, which is kind of a bummer. Hey, what's happening, Colin? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we've got a lot of love and also a lot of hate for the eye connectivity devices. The people who can get them running seem to really like them, but I do know that there's a bit of configuration and setup involved, which can be a little bit difficult, and I've heard a lot of people have had trouble with that. What's happening, Kevin? Thanks for tuning in. Just having a really casual, fun session today. Making some music. We're not really trying to teach or learn anything per se. We're just kind of messing around and having some fun. Let's choose the key of E to work with right now, shall we? And if I go to the pad edit section, maybe we'll select that pad there and load up some sort of a bass line. Maybe we'll stop here and try this one. Get that in sync with our beat here, hopefully. I really like that. Let's go with that. Cool. Just start mixing some stuff up. All right, we're gonna keep that for now and load something else on this side. Gonna see here. Let's load melodic. We'll just kind of scroll through some stuff and pick maybe here. Get this in sync with our beat. 2, 3, here we go. Try something else. Almost. Again, almost. Ooh, there we go. Really nice little ARP we can add there. I don't think the vibe on this side is quite right with matching what we've got starting on the other two boxes. So let's go ahead and switch that out with something else. Choose a different pack, and this is sort of the really big fun part of having two iPads going. Again, we're using two different audio interfaces today. Each iPad has its own audio interface connected. Let's just make sure that we're in the same key on both sides. The E on this side, and we'll make it E on this side as well. Let's also just make sure that we're in sync still. 156 and 156, cool. Ooh, that's kind of unexpected and cool. Ooh, yeah, I kind of like that. Let's leave that. Kind of exploring some of their one-shots over here. Let's try this vocal here. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I like the dub. Try some different vocals. Okay, this is pretty sick. I kind of like that glitchy vocal sound. Yeah. Do you guys hear how robust that groove was? And all we have is just a drum beat going in the model samples, and then 2 loops from this iPad and 2 loops from this iPad. You can really do a lot with just a drum beat and some loops. In fact, let's get these in time. 2, 3, and 1. Cool. Some more percussion. Cool. So again, we just have a drum beat coming out of the model samples. We've got 2 loops coming out of this launchpad and 2 loops coming out of this launchpad. That is a pretty robust groove right there. I really like this one. All right. Let's bring in some of these drums. 2, 3. So we keep getting that disconnect between the iPads, but it seems to be staying in sync pretty well, even though change up the pattern on the model samples. And again. I really like these skippy, fast kind of beats that we're getting here. But let's stop the beat from the model samples. Start something over here on this side. And reverse it. 2, 3. Mute some stuff manually on the model samples and create kind of a break, you know, to feel some momentum sort of building here. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Let's go. Change the pattern. Kind of a halftime beat coming out of the model samples there. That sounds cool. All right, let's see what we can do from scratch again, shall we? That was a pretty fun one. I really liked the way that sounded. We're going to go ahead and start another one today. We'll just call this YouTube. Whoops, we'll call this YouTube 04. Sure, why not? And let's see here. If we go ahead and pick a pattern, let's move a little bit faster now, shall we? Let's go up to 170 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and bring up another pack on the other side as well. And let's see here. Maybe something a little bit faster on this side this time. Let's see what we can come up with. Here we go. No, that's 77. That's too slow. Here we go. Here's like a 170 BPM groove. That'll be great to get us started with. Okay, so we got 170 on this side, and we got 170 on this side. Let's go ahead and let's not worry about what's in here yet. And let's not worry about what's in the model samples yet. But let's just go ahead and grab a pad here on the left. Let's go to drums. And I don't know, let's just scroll way down, right, until it slows. Nobody knows. Let's try this here and get it going. That's really neat for a 4 on the floor. All right, let's get some big fat breaks going. That's cool. 1, 2, and get some bass. All right, that's a really great start already. Let's make sure we're in the same key on both sides. Maybe no key on this side. This side we're in the key of G minor. Let's let's set the key of G minor to this side as well then. And let's see, let's start up the Electron model samples. 2, 3, and 3, 2, 3, 4. And let's go ahead and scroll to a different pattern on the model samples. Bank 2, how about pattern 5? Nope. Let's get it. 1, 2. And, alright. Now we're synced up, and let me choose a different pattern. A little halftime over the full groove there. I want to find something frenetic, but not too frenetic. Maybe that. That's cool. Just to fatten up our breakbeat a little bit more. Cool. Let's try one of these pads. Don't really hear much there. Let's try a different pad. It's not bad. That's a great question, Luke. Yeah, what we're listening to in the model samples is just my sample banks. This is the bass music drums sample bank that we're checking out here. It's got 32 patterns that are built in, so it's really easy for me to just scroll back and forth between different existing beats in the model samples today. Just for fun, we're just messing around. Ooh, that changed the vibe completely, didn't it? Kind of got a really retro vibe on it now. So the drums are coming out of the model samples, and the melodic elements are coming out of this launch pad. Let's change up this beat and see what happens. Ooh. One, two. Let's change it up. Ooh, this is a really unique kind of like breakbeat, cyber wave sound. I'm not really sure what you'd call this. Let's change this beat though. In 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The volume back up on the model samples. Change this too. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty neat. Alright. Yeah, Blocks Wave is definitely fun as well. Let's change it up. And again. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of a nice one. Let's add a vocal sample to that, shall we? If we go back to this iPad, pick an empty pad, choose the category vocal, maybe just start scrolling through some vocal samples. Go ahead and touch the pad to get it in sync. That's a pretty big vocal. That's a little better, but not quite right still. I like those glitchy vox. vocals sneaking in there. Ooh, wait a minute. Kind of a future bassy groove there. Get that bass to fill in the low frequency content. All right, that sounds pretty neat. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Walt. Yeah, Groovebox and Blocks Wave are both really, really fun as well. Get a new beat here in the model samples. This is definitely one of the things that I like about just sort of playing around and having fun and jamming with this sort of configuration. We've been through all sorts of tempos and all sorts of vibes and genres in just a very limited amount of time. And we're just sort of having fun and messing around. Pretty sick right there. Bringing the vocal back. That's kind of a neat little transition there. All right. Change this beat up again. That's giving us too fast, I think. So here we go. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Nope, can't get that camera back. That's a bummer. Still trying to get that overhead camera back. I mean, the face cam, but it's just not happening today. Sorry, guys. So what we've got today, let's see, is we've got two different iPads. Both of these iPads is connected to their own audio interface, and we're using Ableton Link Sync to keep these in sync together. Although my Wi-Fi has been a little screwy, and these have been going in and out of Ableton Link, turning on and off throughout the session. But they've been, pretty consistent. And how they're in sync basically is if we start a pad, start a loop, by pressing a pad on one side. We can let that play. Now, all I have to do, because we're in Ableton Link Sync, is just touch pads on this side, and they'll change and start and stop on the next downbeat of the next measure. So if we want to add like a bass line to this, I can arbitrarily pick one of these bass patterns here. Here we go. Now we've got a bass line happening. This is sounding pretty cool. And what we could do is we could switch over to using the drums and the model samples by turning these loops off. And all I have to do is press the MIDI clock start button here. And here we go. Didn't quite get it. There we go. 2 and 3 and 4, 2, 3, and yeah, now we're all in sync together. So we have the drums. We have one loop playing on this launch pad and one loop playing on this launch pad, and everything is in sync together. Let's change the drums. Maybe get something at still halftime if we can. Yeah, cool. That's kind of a different vibe entirely, right? Now I can kind of just turn the vocal off and just start messing around with some of the loops in this kit. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do fun stuff as well. You know, we can filter these things. We can use the effects that are built into the app to do cool stuff like stuttering. Stop with this record stop effect, like a tape stop effect. You can stop all of the loops that are playing. You can adjust the speed at which, see, I'm just holding it down. You can adjust the speed at which these kind of clinch and let go. So we can do a really slow one. Hear all those sounds just kind of fade out there. Bring the vocal in and let go and bring all these sounds back. All of the effects in here are customizable as well, so we can set which of the individual columns they're affecting. Currently, they're just set to affect all of the columns. So let's see, I think we're going to call it pretty soon. If anybody has any specific questions on this setup or just music production in general, go ahead and feel free to ask those. Let's go ahead and get started up here. And let's go ahead and actually drop the vocal. And we're going to go ahead and change this tempo. See, if we get too low, you can really hear it start to stretch that sample out. So maybe we'll go down just as low as like 130 BPM. So we're not stretching that sample quite as much. Cool. Let's go ahead and load up a new sample pack to mess around with on this side. And since I've set the tempo over here to 130, maybe I'll pick a pack. Actually, here we go. Found Sound Journey Techno 130 F minor. That sounds perfect. We'll go ahead and load that up. All right, so we'll go ahead and get our beat playing there. Let's see if we can't get ourselves a bass line to go with that. Here we go. Fantastic. Make sure we're in key on both sides. I believe this one was F. Yeah. If these launchpad effects are coming on the circuit rhythm, that would be really, really cool, Connor. I would love that. Wow. Nice beat here. Kind of a funky breakbeat pattern here. What's that, a pad? Maybe add a melodic element from this side now. Let's go to melodic. Just start scrolling through these. And let's try this one. Get it in sync by tapping the pad. Kind of randomly scroll until maybe something jumps out. If the beat is a little too busy and too frenetic to maybe hear what I'm listening to, just stop some of these patterns and try to find something. I like that. Does it go with these elements? Not so much. Try a different one then. Ooh. I'm definitely gonna go with that. Let's do it. Cool. Get some funky chords going. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, now we're getting into some abstract breakbeat. I like that. I think the circuit tracks, Sean, was like $3.99 US. I've got one on pre-order. Looking forward to that getting here. Wonder if our vocal that we used in the last jam would sound cool over this groove. Let's find out. Yeah, absolutely. So these grooves on this side still aren't quite as gelling with what we're creating as I would like them to be. So let's try one more pack before we call it today. We're at 130 BPM on this side, so I might pick something that's, you know, relatively close to that. Let's try this remix of this. Load that up. We just need to make sure that we're in the same key on both sides. So we've got the key to set to F minor on this side. We're going to let those samples load, and we'll just make sure that we're on the key of F minor on this side. We'll take a minute for the melodic samples to kind of reprocess into that key. Cool. We'll go ahead and start this groove up again. Let's see what happens. Ooh. That's neat, like a kind of ambient piano. Now let's see if one of these basses will fit for us. How about this one? That's not really a bass. Yeah, no. I like this sound though, that piano. So let's go ahead and keep that. Take the vocals out, right? Let's bring in our own bass on this side, something that we choose. We'll go ahead and scroll through some basses here randomly, right? Make sure it's playing with our beat. Kind of an acoustic bass, a little too floppy there. Turn the piano off because that sort of gels with what we've got over here and it's kind of cool. That's kind of a funky groove, yeah, with a big beat there. Now we don't even have the model samples playing, we're just using the drums from this side. Oh, come on, that's kind of funky. All right. now we've got sort of a disco breakbeat thing happening. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Ed. Thanks for tuning in, Connor. Yeah, actually, Sean, I think we're probably likely to see some stuff from Novation first. Gabe Miller didn't get his freebie Novation circuit tracks until quite a bit later, after some other videos were already published on that. I know he's a really big circuit guy, and we all like Gabe Miller, but I think Novation is trying to do a lot of their own promotion to start with before they're just doling out the units. But he's got his tracks now. The rest of us in the US are still waiting on pre-orders. Let's check out these drums and start the other drums from the model samples and see if maybe we can find something to fit with this, shall we? Beats in this particular pack are pretty like swung, whereas the pattern we've got here is pretty straightforward. That's kind of a neat pattern there. Bring that bass up a little bit. Cool. I really like being able to kind of mix and blend different genres and vibes together when doing this. And just kind of getting lucky. Sometimes you don't get lucky, but that sounds pretty neat. How about our vocal again? Not quite. Alright, so we've been going for just about an hour and 40 minutes today. I just wanted to have some fun today and play around with some stuff. We're not necessarily worrying about teaching today. Let's just do one more, shall we? Let's just do one more from scratch before we call it today. We'll just leave that untitled sound pack, no worries. And let's start with... let's just pick a pad and get something going here, shall we? How about we start with an effects loop and see what we can find? We'll just scroll way down through here. And actually, how about we try this one and see what happens. Let's keep going. No idea what we're going to find in the effects section. Kind of an odd way to start building a groove, and that's why I chose it. We might choose that. Yep, we're going to choose that. That's kind of a neat little texture. I'm going to go ahead and bring the volume back up on this one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and actually bring the volume up on that pad, I believe, a little bit. Maybe 3 decibels. Yeah, that's better. And let's go ahead and... whoops. Let's pick a different sound pack again on this side. Let's pick one arbitrarily. How about this one here? It's acoustic hip hop. Oh boy, this should be interesting. We're going to make sure that we're at the same tempo on both sides. We're at 130. Maybe we'll make it a little bit slower because I believe acoustic hip hop is probably going to be slower. So we'll start at 120 here. And let's pick maybe a bass and see what happens. Ooh. Bring the volume down on that bass. And maybe we'll start with that one there. And let's go ahead and start the drums. Let me get these actually really synced in together here. 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, and 4, 2. Let's get going. Alright, now we've got the beats really synced in with the 4-bar loop that is the drums there. Let's add something in of our own, shall we? On this side, we're not synced to a key yet, but on this side, we're set to G minor. I'm going to go ahead and set us to G minor on this side. And let's find something on our own that we can add to this. Maybe like a melodic element. Let's scroll like way down. My link getting screwy again. And let's see what happens. Whoa, that is very loud. I accidentally loaded this over our original pad, but that's actually okay because that's sounding pretty far out right there. I like that. I think we're gonna just, leave it and load something else up to go with it. All right, I'm gonna make sure I'm on a different pad this time. And let's see what we can find. I'm gonna scroll way down. Cool, golden pad, let's try that. Get it in sync with our beat. He didn't get any demos first, Sean. I watched the live stream with Calc from Novation, and the chat was, going crazy saying, "Send Gabe Miller his free Novation tracks. Send it to him. Send it to him." And he said, "Don't worry, we're going to." And then in the next week he got one, but he certainly wasn't, the first one to get it or anything. That's all I'm saying. Let's go with this pad here. Meaning, all I'm saying is, like, while Gabe Miller makes great videos and stuff, it's not like he works for Novation per se. This is a neat little groove. What happens if we add a little vocal here? Ooh. So we've got a bass coming from this launch pad, and we've got the beat coming from the model samples. We've got some melodic elements coming from this iPad on this side. We've got some vocal samples in this kit here that sound really nice. Yeah, I have the MC707. I don't have the 101. Let's try a little more of these melodics, shall we? Oh, this is far out. All right. Got a very almost dubby kind of vibe over this now. Let's bring some more of these vocals in. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and while these vocals over here allow me to kind of bring these female vocals in real time, they're not like a looping vocal. They're more of a one-shot vocal. Let's see if we can find maybe more of a looping sample to bring in. And we'll search for that on this side. Go ahead and choose vocal, and we'll just scroll down, and arbitrarily let's choose one. Get it in sync with our beat. 2, 3, and ooh, that's a no on that one. Nope. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Peter. Ooh, there we go. Forget about it. I love those glitchy vocal loops. We can kind of filter that up a little and get rid of some of the low frequency content from that. We can bring the effects up. We can kind of glitch that. Yeah, this is a fun one. I really like the way this last one came out. Sometimes it's really a good thing to kind of push yourself just to do one more for fun. We're just having fun today and just randomly combining loops and beats and just messing around. Yeah, the 101 looks absolutely fantastic. The 707, I believe, just has a little bit more robust way to edit some of those sounds. But to be honest with you, I actually got my 707 to use as more of an expansion sound bank and not really to program my own sounds. So the 101 has absolutely as high quality of sounds inside of it as the 707. Absolutely fantastic purchase there, Sean. Absolutely. All right, you guys, we had a little bit of fun today, hopefully. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the beats that we put together. We've been going for about an hour and 50 minutes, and I believe we're going to call it today. I'm sorry that I lost the speaking camera, so I can't really speak to you guys face to face, but hopefully my internet will be a little bit more cooperative next week. There's a chance that we may be doing a really large Eurorack sort of special event type of thing next week. The custom Eurorack case that I've had on order since October is finally finished and is actually on the way and is scheduled to arrive here this Thursday between 12 noon and 4 p.m. So I am very nervous about that. It's coming on a pallet in a really large crate, and I've never dealt with anything like that before. So hopefully I can get it unpalleted and uncrated and into the studio. It's a large case, and I'm a little bit concerned about it fitting through my hallway, but we will see what happens. And so I might have a really large custom Eurorack case to fill up with all my modules, and we might be doing a live stream to do that, to talk about the modules and just start putting them in one by one. I'm hoping that the case arrives damage free and 100% ready to go. It's supposed to be wired up and ready to go, so I don't need to do anything. And if that works out, then we might be doing a really big Eurorack session where I'm putting the modules in that case, either next weekend or maybe even before that. Because if it's here on Thursday and ready to go and everything's good to go, then I might just do that on Friday, because I don't think I'm going to be able to wait, if you get my drift. But we'll see what happens. I've been working really hard behind the scenes on some other videos. One of those is going to come out on Tuesday. So just keeping really busy on all things this side. I've been working on the poly-end tracker bank as well, just with all of my spare time. For those of you who might have seen that live stream a few weeks ago where I was showing you that, it was over 3,000 samples at that time, and now I've got it over 4,250 samples. I'm really working hard on that poly-end tracker bank. I actually hired a flute player, I hired a saxophone player, and I hired a trumpet player to do some custom riffs for that bank as well. So maybe in a few weeks, we'll be revisiting that sound bank so that I can show you guys what I've been up to there as well. I guess that's about it for today. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks, Colin. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Trabarsi. Thanks, Michael. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.